So the last week or so has been a complete adrenaline dump, and I've got an even bigger adrenaline dump in the next week because I'm doing the biggest shoot I've ever done, and I've had to coordinate with 70 people, memorize 50 pages of lines, not just my own, but everyone else's. I've also had to do 4 paintings, and I'm not a painter, but I sent them to artists, and they're like, they're good. And I'm like, yes! And so everything's just been coming together in a way that I just was like, is this gonna happen? And I can tell you why it came together. Watch the rest of this video. I'm Thomas Proffitt. I've spent the last 15 years working to become my generation's Nolan, Tarantino, and Tarkovsky rolled into one in a way anyone can afford. I share about my journey, lessons I learn along the way, and my faith. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe. Welcome to Movie Maker Ministry. So I am days away from the biggest film shoot I've ever done. It's for my feature film. The last 2 months we got 5 days done, and the next 2 months I want to get 15 shoots done. And the next 2 weeks it's going to be there's going to be like a 5-day shoot and then a 2-day shoot like days later, but I have to have all the prep and everything done before them. I'll tell you about why I forced myself into this box and a little bit about what lessons, it's teaching me already even before the shoot, but I have to have all the prep work done beforehand. In a bit, I'll tell you about why I chose to put myself in this box. I'll also tell you about the lessons I've already learned even before the shoot. But first, I want to get into why I'm able to do 7 days of filming within the next few weeks when I only was able to get 5 days the last 2 months. And really, the core lesson, and this is actually a really useful tool right off the get-go here. Take 1 day a week off of work. It sounds so simple. That's what a Sabbath is, right? But honestly, I was so burned out and working myself to death, and I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. But by taking 1 day a week off, and I heard this actually in a Christian finance book, you got to rest in the Lord, take a leap of faith with him that if you don't work and you force yourself not even to think about work for a day each week, that you will be restored after that day. That for me was yesterday after 10 days of just burning myself to 2 brain cells left that were fighting over the remote control in my brain. I burned myself out, but I had 1 break day, and today I feel actually just completely restored. 2 days ago, or even yesterday, I was like Swiss cheese. It was terrible. My brain was gone. But learning how to do that has been a very critical tool for me to be able to do more shoots. Because if doing a shoot, you feel like you're prepping for a heist or something. Not that I know what it's like, but I assume, from watching movies. But there's so much that goes into it. There's so much that could go wrong, and at the end of the day, you are responsible, right? Like everything kind of falls on you. Not true. I think my lesson I'm learning is it falls on the Lord and praying to him, but I'm his hands and feet in this world. And, having that relationship of, okay, I'm going to take a break day each week and, allow myself to step away from all my responsibilities. You're actually sharpening yourself. You're dulling yourself down if you don't do that for yourself. So because I, did that and I learned, okay, let's have 1 day a week where we just take off and just focus on the work. Or focus on, myself, my relationship with God, listen to the Bible or on audiobook or read it, go kayaking. It's been great. It's helped me a lot. So taking that tool, I'm realizing I have way more bandwidth now than I had before. When I was doing 5 shoot days over the course of 2 months, plus I was, I was still dealing with so many tasks that were not really associated with getting the shoot done, like casting, or finding different, making changes to the script. There was a lot of little tasks that I had to do, but now that I have the extra bandwidth, I decided I'm going to challenge myself and also go for another leap of faith here with God that, okay, you know what? God, do you want me to do 15 shoot days over the next 2 months? Yes. You think I can get it done? Yeah. All right, let's do it. And, having that prayer and asking him if that's what he wants of me, I'm like, all right, I'll be fine. Let's get it done. And so that meant, changing my entire outlook on this, my entire philosophy, figuring out how do I just throw away all the nonsense and all the things that don't actually get me to where I need to be, or the self-limiting beliefs. So, that being said, I basically went in and figured out, okay, we're going to do we have these 2 locations. Let's figure out all the shoot days we have to do for that. And it's a mad dash right now. And I'm rethinking how I'm able to perform and how I'm able to get more done and unthinking the limitations and limiting beliefs that I had before. Now, I also realized this philosophy of, if you raise your staff, the waters will part. It's kind of this biblical philosophy, like Moses raising the staff and the waters would part. And there's a lot of moments in the Bible that, talks about how there's different people who they went out on a limb and made themselves look like fools, but the Lord told them to do that thing, and then it worked out. But they had to go and step up and do the thing that felt foolish. Like David and Goliath, going, with a slingshot, this really small guy up against the giant, or storming a garrison on a hill who just far outnumbers you. Even if say you're not religious or you're not spiritual or you're not a Christian, you see this all throughout life. There's moments where you feel called to something when you're not qualified, and you step up to the plate, you go for it, and things work out in ways that you didn't expect. But if you didn't actually, go for it and tell yourself, I'm going to go do this and start, it wouldn't have worked out. And how I've seen it happen lately, I months ago didn't even know that I'd be starting to film my feature film. Like, I thought I had to have so many ducks in a row. I just started. My goal was, I want to start filming as soon as possible, because I knew that by the act of filming, the act of doing all the things to get the film started and get it rolling, just starting, even if I feel like I'm so all over the place, or this isn't done, but this is, like, I casted these characters, but I still need to cast these people. That actually made it more interesting for me. Is, I'm going to do this, and then that's going to, I know that these will fall into place eventually. They don't have to fall into place until I need to shoot that scene. When you get started knowing you don't have all the pieces in place, that's actually the best way to get the pieces to start falling into place, I'm finding. And it actually is much more fun and interesting. Like, it's more engaging. I don't have to force myself to get all the boring work done. And if you're doing that, you're actually going to make choices just to get it done and not enjoy it. Which that's actually a radically it's just a radical idea, but it's actually, I think it for some people like me, that brings a lot of peace to you, and it brings a lot of it's actually encouraging, because that's how you want to do it, especially if you have ADHD. You want to just start all over the place. But I'm finding things are stabilizing now. I have the script updated. I started before I even knew what the final script. Like, I had it written, but I didn't know that I was going to make changes to it. But they came from, actually, I was praying when I felt like I needed some changes. And then a prayer got answered. Somebody was sent who had like this crazy connection to the person who inspired the script. And so, yeah, we were able to figure that out. But because I started before I was ready, it actually kind of came together. And yeah, you could also look at it as like there's the adrenaline rush. You know, you are burning your ships. You're putting your back against the wall. You are getting started. You have no choice but to get rolling and get this figured out. But there's also a big spiritual element where God's actually working in the background, making things happen because you're making things happen. If you don't start making things happen, he won't. You can choose whether to believe that or not. It's up to you. But if you want to see for yourself, try it. I'm telling you, if you try it, you will see for yourself. There's no way that would have worked out unless I started. Why did that happen? Because it was predestined. You were called to do this thing, and then things kind of worked out. I don't know if I get into the whole debate about that. I mean, that's just if you're, whether you want to believe in that or not, it's you can try it. You can figure it out. Because I mean, it took me, I spent 10 years being a doubting Thomas and not really questioning that. But once you just kind of get over the uncertainty of it and just go for it and take that leap of faith, it works out. But I digress. The thing I'm learning from prepping for this big shoot, the bigger shoot that I've ever done, I'm learning about things that I'm capable of that I didn't know, but because I prayed on it with God and checked with him first, is this what you want me to do? Will I be able to pull all this off? Things are working out. And it's almost like I barely have any energy or time left for anything else, but I'm getting everything done that I said I would, or asked, whether that's what he wanted me to do. For instance, I memorized 50 pages of lines, not just my lines, but everyone else's lines. I had to coordinate with 70 people. I had to figure out how to, get crew for and cast for every day. I had to cast 2 actors who I believe are reliable and awesome to work with, who I haven't even worked with yet, but I'm confident in. And I had to get the Airbnb. I had to get all the props and make all the props. I had to do 4 paintings. And I don't paint. And I had several artists be like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I'm like, really? Oh, thank God. Literally, thank God. Because there was points where I'm like, this is not turning out the way I wanted it to. And then hours of just struggle later, bang, it kind of came together. And I was like, yes. And that's how every single one of them went. But it's been such a remarkable thing. I also got 2 solid writing days done. And I also got a break day in. And I did prep for, I'm doing a Bible lesson for friends and my church group. And I've been able to do so much this last week. And I tell you, I had no energy left. And I'm even getting time before the shoot to do these videos. Like, I wanted to change the setup. I wanted to change it up a little bit and improve on it so it's more useful and engaging for people. But yeah, all of this works because I asked God, do you want me to do that? I feel like you're calling me to this. Do you want me to do this? Can I do this? Or is this going to work out? Yes. And the thing with prayer is, like, you try on the answer. Yes, no. And you can feel it in your heart, you listen. You need silence to figure out if that's what he's wanting. Go for a walk, pray to God, ask him some questions, and then hear what the answer is. And it might be like the first thing that comes to you. And you might feel like you're answering for him at first, but eventually you do this enough, you're like, oh, I get it. And it's like you feel it in your heart. That's what what he wants of you. So that's been very helpful. And doing that has guided me to this place where I'm actually much more productive than I was before. And I haven't done the shoot yet. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably do a video to follow up about that, but I'm confident. I feel pretty good. I think it'll turn out really well. And I encourage you, go for it. Try things that seem scary to you. And, although at least make sure first, though, that it is something that you feel that God's calling you to, and you've prayed on it, and he gives you kind of the green light. You'd be surprised what you're capable of. And so that's what I'm learning through this experience. And another thing I plan to do is I plan to go back to my sci-fi trilogy and rework that and start writing that again. Something that's been a huge dream of mine. And I know that's going to turn out well because I've been praying on it for a while. And I know God's going to bring that together just like everything else he's been bringing together for me, like the feature film. I hope this video is helpful. If there's anything I can do to help serve you as an audience, let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's a question or problem you're facing, and I'll work to help solve it. I thank you for watching. I pray you have a blessed day. Later.